Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.
This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball Week 8. We are here at the quarter mark of the NBA season. Doc, you got any takeaways quarter into the season? What you got to say?
Man, time flies, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're quarter way of the season. It's not a small sample size anymore. I mean, we can make some definitive takeaways, but I asked you this before we started. Do you think Bol Bol is most improved player so far, if you had to award it today?
No.
Okay.
I don't have somebody in the top of my head, really. But Tyrese Haliburton, shout out Tyrese Haliburton. He's amazing. Like, if you picked him in your first round, second round, it was totally worth it. Leading the league in assists by like 2. He doesn't turn the ball over ever. He's like 11 assists, like 2.7 turnovers. His efficiency is just amazing. So Tyrese Haliburton, shout out. He might win the award.
Too.
What's that?
You can't go wrong with either of those. I said him and SGA too.
Oh man. And we still have 7 30-point plus scores in the NBA. The NBA's playing at such a high rate. Devin Booker 20 for 25. Jason Tatum sticks out as a MVP 1 candidate. Him and Giannis. Giannis clearly the best player in the NBA. Watching that Lakers and Bucks game, and although Anthony Davis was giving him a run for his money, and LeBron James still got game, but man, it is definitely the passing of the torch. And I don't know. I like the Bucks, even though the Celtics are crushing everyone and about to break every offensive record of all time. That not only do they shoot the most threes, they have the highest percentage. They're shooting over 40. It's unbelievable.
Coach, I don't know if you realized when you said passing the torch, you wiped your eye. Are you wiping a tear away now that LeBron's not the best in the NBA anymore?
Yeah. I mean, he could still be the best on a given night, but it's just not as consistent. And when you saw Giannis block him, it was just like, he just doesn't have the lift.
But okay. Your voice is starting to crack a little bit. I can tell that this is a sensitive subject for you.
It's still a wonderful time. He broke Magic Johnson's, record when he moved 6 all time. By the end of the year, he'll be 4th all time, and he'll be 1st in points. Nobody in the top 10 scoring is in the top 10 assists all time. So, he's still one of one. But you're here for Fantasy Hoops as we rant on, but the game is being played at such a very high level this season. Teams with 2, I'm sorry, even though Jeremy Socon is out right now. The Spurs and the Blazers owners, you only got 2. The rest of the league got 4 or 5 games. That's just not fair.
Man, we're 3 minutes in, and you already referenced Jeremy Sohan on a game they're playing too, Coach. All right.
Hey, that's my favorite guy this year. Teams with 3, there's 16. I would list them all, but like I said, that's more than half of the league. And then there are 12 teams with 4 pickup candidates. This is why you're here. You don't see a former number 1 overall pick sitting here in your waiver wire, but that's just Markelle Fultz's career. We're going to talk about Justise Winslow, Kyle Slow-Mo Anderson, Jaylen Nowell, Grayson Allen, and Joey Hoops, Joe Harris. Never heard of that nickname, but B-ball ref, that's what you're going to get. Starting it off, Orlando's point guard situation. They have a couple of them, and apparently they're going to all play together. Markelle Fultz is 46% rostered, an uptick of 20% as he's now played 3 games into the season. And the one game where he played 30 minutes or 30 plus, this is exactly 30 minutes. He had 10 points, 6 boards, 6 assists. Last year, I put his stats up: 11 points, 3 boards, 5.5 assists, 1.1 swipe. That is rosterable in 12-team leagues. But without him going back-to-backs, that is interesting. If you would like to pick him up, he definitely rebounds, solid 4 guard, and get you that steal. but he's never going to get you any blocks or threes. What's your opinion on Markelle Fultz, and did you pick him up?
I did not, and you're right. He's never going to get you a 3. 0 for 2 on the season, shooting 26% for his career. What I think is going to be frustrating is the usage moving forward. We saw 17 minutes in his debut, then they bumped him up to 30, and then he played yesterday on that back-to-back and played 19 minutes. I mean, he rebounds well for a guard. We saw he had 6 this year. He's going to give you some good scoring. Or I'm sorry, he's going to give you steals. So I'd say more valuable in a category league. He's a good NBA player. A little bit disappointing for number 1. I'd say if you can.
I think everybody's rooting for him though because of how it's kind of gone, and there's definitely something mental with his shot because at Washington and before that, it looked like he had he was a 3-level scorer. It seemed like.
It's just frustrating from Orlando too. Like besides Paolo, and I mean we're a quarter way through his rookie season. Like the usage is inconsistent. Like Franz Wagner had some good stretches last year. They've been inconsistent with Bol, with Mo Bamba, and part of that is just because the team isn't healthy. But I mean, if you have him, I guess you're playing him. But I wouldn't rush out and get him. I know that defeats the purpose of him being our first pickup.
No, but we do have to talk about it because Cole Anthony just came back as well, and then Jalen Suggs has had a really bounce back, I guess, second year. Has been playing some solid basketball. You don't really know what to do. You don't know what's going to happen with the usage, as you mentioned before, like who is going to get it other than Paolo's guaranteed usage. You don't know how they're going to play with those minutes. Obviously, this is a team that's not trying to win either. I do like that they're giving Bol some freedom. I saw him take Scotty Barnes off the dribble. I saw him get a block, go full court, and yam it. Like, he's definitely exciting to watch. And with Victor Wembanyama coming around the corner, it's like we're kind of seeing a preview of kind of a big man playing both ends, taking the ball up and down the court.
And the one thing, just to touch on Fultz last, he's played 26 games the last 2 seasons. Like, reliability and durability is not his trait. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, he's not going to win you a fantasy league. Justise Winslow having a revival of his career for the Portland Trailblazers. And in the last 5 games, he's played 39 minutes, 36 minutes, 34, 36, and 46 minutes. When anybody's playing that much, they're going to contribute in some way. And then last week, he's rebounding the ball exceptional. 8 boards with 12 points, 4 dimes. In categories leagues, you're like opening your eyes like, okay, he should be rostered. He's only 34%. He's giving you a 3, a steal. Against the Lakers, he had 21, 5, 4, 3 threes. He had 4 stocks against Utah, even though he had 2 points. So, like, yeah, he had a dud there. But, like, if through the averages, that's still a rosterable guy.
Just don't bank on him to get you points. But I think Chauncey Billups is that new Tom Thibodeau where if he likes you, he's just playing you an insane amount of minutes. I swear the dude does 7-8 man rotations and plays zone. So he's making his mark felt. But, I mean, like you touched on, category leagues, so valuable. 7 rebounds, 5, 13, 7, 11, giving you some steals, giving you some assists, giving you half a block a game. Best Euro step from a lefty that's not James Harden.
Yeah, I'm just glad that he's found his footing a little bit again because he showed a lot of promise there for Duke. And defensively, he's always kind of had that, and then he has some vision. But, like, the fact that he hit 3 threes against Lakers, like, it shows, like, he's definitely worked on that part of his game, and you can throw him at the 3, you can throw him at the 4. So, no, I hear you on the Billups rotation because you love some Shane Sharp when you watch him. He's really only going to get you buckets. He's not really in there for playmaking or defense so far.
Dude just camps out at the 3-point line, literally sets up a tent and then just camps there. Got some little s'mores and fire going along. Oh, wait, here, I got the ball. Let me shoot.
I feel like he'll figure it out, though, in due time. The athleticism definitely speaks volumes.
Coach, how old do you think Justise Winslow is?
25, 26.
He's 26. He's still young.
Okay. Yep. He's still young. He's a pup. He came out as a freshman, and here we are. From talking about athletic people to maybe not as much athletic, Kyle Slow-Mo Anderson with Cat out. he's playing more minutes, and in the last month, this is a good sample size, 8 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. I think what will really get you and move the needle is if you're in a categories league and you're looking for those steals and blocks, because he's giving you over 1 and 1. And against OKC, you had 6.6 boards, 5 assists, but 6 stocks. That may win you a category in that league. So not really a points guy threat, but in categories for the time being, with Cat being out for 4 to 6 weeks, he is somebody that you could grab and somebody I grabbed this week.
No, that's a good call. And I mean, like you said, you get him for categories leagues. This is his 9th year in the league, and he's averaged double-digit points once. And he's 29 years old, so you basically know what you're getting. But he's 6'9". He's a good basketball player.
Yeah.
Like if you watch him play, he definitely has a spot in this league.
Yeah, he was a very solid contributor for Memphis as well. But you don't feel bad about dropping him either. So streaming him in the meantime while Cat is out. From one Minnesota T-Wolf to another. Jaylen Nowell has been on fire from deep recently. He's averaging, 14 shots on 52% shooting, 21 points, 4 boards, 2 assists, 3 threes. This isn't the norm for him. But in his last 4 games, really, 21 points, 24 points, 23 points, 16. He's got 12 total 3-pointers made. So when shooters shoot, you pick them up. Again, this is not going to last forever. But while it is, and he's actually a decent safe candidate. He's averaging like 13 on the season. So he's definitely not a bad player, but somebody that you could pick up right now.
Can we just continue this usage? This is his 4th year in the league. 10.1 minutes, 18.1, 15.7. When you include the last 4 games, he's at 18.1 for the season. And when he's gotten 20 plus, 16 points, 23, 24, 21, shooting 50% or over in all of those games. Like, can we get a little bit of a larger sample size on him?
Hey, when I say the name Jayshon Augusto, child prodigy, does that name ring a bell?
No.
All right. In 2008, child prodigy Jayshon Augusto, as I just mentioned, he went viral with his workouts. He ran a 450 mile, but he was going to be the next great basketball player. He played high school ball with Jaylen Nowell. He didn't make it to the NBA, but his teammate did. But I just wanted to, for our throwback fans, you look up Jayshon Augusto. He's the kid with 2 basketballs doing all his workouts that made it big time, and he made it on the news. Joe Harris is finally shooting the ball well. He is 6th all-time in 3-point percentage. In this season, he's shooting 35.8. So I think that it's just a matter of time for it to click, and it has been clicking recently, where he's hit 9 threes in the last 2 games. He's a great pairing with KD, and the Brooklyn Nets are actually playing good basketball, giving you 13 points, 3 threes. Like I said, those numbers should uptick. In rebounds, I said he'll give you a couple. He's not really doing anything on a defensive end, but I could see him being a safe candidate going forward in that 17% roster. You can find him anywhere.
Yeah, disagree, Coach.
What do you not like about Beef Jerky Joe?
Well, first of all, just kudos to the nicknames flying left and right that you got today. But everything you said, like, am I just relying on him for threes? I know he's been hitting multiple the last 3 games, but before that, 1 of 6, 0 for 3, 1 of 6, 1 of 7. He's given you 3 rebounds for the season, 1.8 assists. I mean, keep in mind, he was injured to begin the year. Like, unless you really need threes, and I know a lot of people punt categories, like Joe Harris isn't going to provide anything else, because it's not like he scores outside shooting that 3-pointer, and that's where most of his shot attempts come from. So
I hate to do this. I agree with you. But today is Sunday, and if you are trying to win your 3-pointer category, he's somebody that I would stream today. If you have a pickup available and you can just break ties with him tomorrow. So Joe Harris is not somebody like that I'm like, oh, you got to go roster. But I do say that he is trending in the right direction and he's playing better basketball and he's shooting the ball better. But if you're a 3-point threat and all you do, like, 3 is like, that's good, but that's not going to win you like your 3-point category for the week unless he's putting up like 4 or 5.
I thought of a new nickname for him. One Night Stand Joe.
And that's going to be you later today after you go tailgating. All right, Grayson Allen, another guy that plays the same position, the 2 and the 3. 13 points in the last week, 4 boards, 3 assists, 3 threes, and then it looks damn near the same, except he's giving you more assists here. He's a little bit of a safer candidate, but he's a streaky shooter. He did hit 7 threes. I don't know where that went, but he killed Dallas in like less than 30 minutes. But those days come few and far between. But I did want to give Grayson Allen a shout out. He hasn't been on our show this year.
That hurts you as a Maryland fan. Also, if you're in a categories league, tripping does not count as a stat.
There we go. All right. Pickup candidates? Question mark. I got to start with AJ Griffin. He had a game winner in the OT, and he's actually had some big games this year. DeAndre Hunter is out. Collins is out. Even before Collins was out, he was playing with Hunter to finish a couple games. His last game, he had 24 points. He's shown that he's been able to hit the 3 ball in college at a very high rate, and it's translated to the NBA. He gets a lot of steals too. So he gets you some threes, some steals, 11% roster. You can find him anywhere, but in the next week, he should get some time.
Oh, we should see that percentage to the moon. I mean, whatever format you play in points, categories, I mean, he's given you close to 3 rebounds a game the last couple. I also wanted to highlight Jarrett Culver because 2 Hawks go down. So, you know, by law of equals, we got to talk about 2 of them. Jarrett Culver in a categories league, he's going to give you some stocks right there. 5 over the last couple games, averaging 9.5 points, but averaging 9.5 rebounds also. I mean, his stock really shot up when Texas Tech made it to the championship. And
he's been a gross disappointment since he got into the NBA.
Yeah, but he was never a scorer. He was someone that kind of did it all. That was a good hustle player. He's making the most of his opportunities, 30 and 33 minutes. That's my little rant about Jarrett Culver. I'd say add him too. Yeah,
he's got I'd rather go AJ Griffin, but he does provide you some different categories across the board. Andrew Nembhard, he put the Lakers to sleep with a cold-blooded game winner that our boy Tyrese Halliburton threw an amazing dime to get it to that point. He's starting alongside in the backcourt. He's point guard, shooting guard eligible. He's only 9% rostered. In his last game, he had 13 points, 10 boards. He had 2 threes. He had 2 steals. He's solid, couple threes a game, swipe. Andrew Nembhard is just a solid NBA player, and for him to play this type of basketball in his rookie year shows promise going forward.
Man, I want to say I was watching the Pacers Jazz game because I'm weird and watch obscure ones. He is a smart guy.
Yeah.
He's watching him play defense. He has his eye on his defender and the person with the ball at all times. And that's how he got his 2 steals, is cheating, because he knows that he can gamble on those plays. So he's a good IQ player. That could have led to some more consistent playing time.
Yeah, and his brother Andrew's over there playing, and his brother's playing for Creighton. He's putting people in the blender. I saw the Nembhard did pretty well on LeBron a couple of possessions. So he does definitely gets after it. He's a good basketball player going forward, and they're keeping Ben Mathurin coming off the bench. And shout out Ben Mathurin because going 7, looking like a steal. If they do a redraft, I don't know. I might get him number 3 over Jabari. That's the way he's played all season. He really gets to the line.
Shout out Canada.
Yeah, shout out Canada. Zach Collins is our last, maybe pickup. He's starting right now. Pirtle's out. Sohan's out, but they only play 2 games. So, keep that in mind too. And, maybe just watch him for now and don't pick him up. But when he plays minutes, which he still has, we haven't seen him play like more than 22 minutes. Pop just kind of keeps it that level, but he'll give you points, rebounds, assists, block, steal. He might hit a 3 when he does play. And when he played the Lakers, he had 12 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 2 threes. So I feel like I've had him on my watch list all year, but he just hasn't hit yet.
Do we feel like Pirtle gets traded?
No.
I think he does.
Huh. Interesting. I haven't heard that, circulating. I know he's on a good contract. Or no, he's due to get a contract. So maybe that is a good move, and maybe a contender can.
Yeah, I think I read. This is I think the final year of his contract.
Yeah.
Yep, he's making $9.5 million this year, and then he's a free agent. So if San Antonio doesn't see a future with him and they ship him off, get some assets back, that's where Zach Collin comes into play. And if you already have him,
there you go. But of course, I'd take Sohan over him all day.
Oh gosh, is that what you're naming your second child?
I don't know.
Sohan Lewis.
Sohan versus Bobo. All right, you hear it here. This is week 8 as we close out. We wish you a good week in your fantasy. Don't give up if you're sub 500. Like we said, we're only a quarter into the season, but you got to jump start it. There's injuries galore everywhere, and so it might not be your week. You might take a lump, or you might take a big W. Don't get too up on your ups, too down on your downs, and stay active in the wire. For Doc, I'm Coach James Lewis, and we'll see you next week.
Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.